I have spent so much time in this period of beta periodness playing Battlefield 6, which I think you said you've also played a bit. So for those of you who don't know, Battlefield 6 is coming out in October, I think.
I think it's beginning of October, if I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea. It's coming out in October. Actually, I have gameplay for this as well.
Oh my god.
And
45 minutes in and we're getting our first look of gameplay.
Obviously leading up to release, DICE are doing, open beta weekend. So last weekend was the first week, and then this weekend now they've brought one of the new maps in, Russia's in here, and I've just been playing. Given that it's an open beta, when this sort of stuff happens, I'll play like an hour or two, just to get a feel for the game. I cannot stop playing this game. I think I've played maybe 8 or 9 hours now, and this is still the beginning of the weekend, so I'm going to play a lot more. And it's weird. I've played a lot of Battlefield over the years. I've played Battlefield Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. I still think were like the peaks. Battlefield 4 was fun. I can't remember why it wasn't as beloved as 3. Maybe it was bugs, that sort of thing. And then just after that, I just kind of nosedived off the franchise. Never really played Battlefield 5. Battlefield 2042, I played that beta and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. There's something about it that just didn't sit well with me. And then into Battlefield 6, and good God, it just feels so good. It feels like Battlefield that I remember, Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. And not for any particular reason other than it just, I don't know, there's something about it. It's recaptured that Battlefield mayhem, which is just so fun to play. It looks good. I mean, the footage you're watching now, I think it's obviously not the highest settings on PC, so the game can look a lot better. But visually, it runs super smooth on my PC, and it just sounds great. Battlefield games always nail that thing of you feel like you're walking or running through a war zone. Things are exploding, shrapnel's going off, bullets are flying. You can hear like dust crumbling around you as the buildings collapse. And it's so good at making you feel like you're part of this grand scale battle, whether you just a dude running around and with your gun, or you're driving a tank or a jet, whatever. So I've just thoroughly enjoyed my time with it thus far.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. I think it's I've never been into Battlefield in the way that you have, but I agree that I played a lot of Battlefield 3 back in the day. And kind of like didn't really keep up with the series either. I just it from then on, it just wasn't the thing that I gravitated towards, and I played a lot more Call of Duty during those years. And it is kind of a mindset shift coming into a Battlefield after playing a lot of Call of Duty, just because they are completely different types of games. Like one is borderline an arcade shooter, and this one very much is your team-based squad shooter, where if you're just trying to lone wolf it out there, you're just not going to have a good time, and you're going to feel like you're just banging your head against a wall because everyone is just taking you down. But once you start slowing down, start kind of not even like super coordinating with your squad, just kind of sticking around other people and working as a unit rather than a single player, I think that's where this kind of clicks. And I think Battlefield 6 recaptures that with a system that feels good to play. It feels good to run around. It feels good to shoot. And that's been definitely lacking from the series for a very long time, I think. So I've had a good time in the beta as well. And for the first time since, I think, 3, I'm excited to pick this up at launch. I just haven't really felt that in a long time. And it's going to have a campaign, which is really cool as well. So I'm excited for that.
I'll play Battlefield campaigns. I mean, I have a lot to say about... I don't have a lot to say. There's actually not much to say about first-person shooter campaigns for the likes of Call of Duty and Battlefield in general. I'm like, they're fun. They can be fun, but the meat of the game is typically in the multiplayer. So I'll definitely play the Battlefield campaign. I'm interested to see what have they done, because it's been... did 2042 even have a single-player campaign? I don't think it did.
No, 2042 didn't have.
It's
and
just straight
Battlefield...
multiplayer. 4
Battlefield 1 had like those vignettes, which were kind of like...
I did play Battlefield 1, I remember that. Battlefield 5 I didn't play. It's very confusing if you're struggling to follow
very
along.
Confusing. because Battlefield 5 was World War 2. Battlefield 1 went back to World War 1. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Battlefield 5 also had like a vignette sort of style
I
single
can't
player.
recall. But just saying it out loud.
Battlefield 3 and 4 were great. Great campaigns. I thoroughly enjoyed
Yeah,
those.
can we just take a moment to appreciate that we had Battlefield 3, 4, then we went back to 1, then we went back to 5.
No, it was 5 and then 1.
Was it 5 and then 1? Was it not the other way around?
Nope. Even more confusing because it was like World War 2. Okay. No, World War 1 again. Okay. Now
Wow.
2042. It's like, okay.
What is going on? I thought it was the
Yeah.
other way around. I'll have to look that
I
up.
might be wrong. I'm pretty sure it was.
I think it was Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, then Battlefield 5.
We can definitely agree it went 3 and then 4. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, Battlefield 1 was 2016 and then 5 was 2018.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know.
Why?
But
Oh, and between them, we forgot the most important, Battlefield Hardline.
was Hardline the like bank robbery one?
Yep.
I never even touched it. I just
Yeah, same. It just felt a bit icky that it was a cops versus robbers game, and the campaign was very much like, hey, you're SWAT and you are just murdering people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kind of weird.
I don't know. It's I have hope for this game just because the beta has just felt and looked good and just been fun to play. I mean, I'll try the campaign. Don't get me wrong, but it's got all the classic Battlefield stuff. I mean, if you're unfamiliar, Battlefield's big. So all the maps kind of have variations of them. So the biggest one is probably Conquest, which is, I think it must be 64 player, right? These huge 32 versus 32 player maps, and it includes everything. You can get into a helicopter, you can fly a jet, you can drive a tank, you can drive a jeep, and all the stuff in between. And in Conquest, you're just trying to control 5 points across the map. So if you're watching the footage, that's exactly what's happening here. This map's kind of medium sized, so there's just tanks, no helicopters or jets. And then there's Rush, which is last weekend. It wasn't part of the beta. Rush is now here this weekend. That's kind of like your more traditional. It's that thing where you're still rushing 2 points, but you have to plant a bomb at both points, and then once you take both points, the map opens up and there's another 2 points to proceed to and capture. And that is. Like Conquest is fun.
That is what I remember from Battlefield 3.
Yeah, and Bad Company too. When I first played that, I was like, it is that Conquest is fun. Like going around the map, just doing whatever with your squad, capturing points, good fun. But Rush for me is my favorite game mode because it's got like that Counter-Strike-esque thing of you trying to plant or armor bomb and then defend it. It's maybe less tactical because obviously there's a lot of chaos happening. But it's led to some super tight moments where, it's just I've had some good highlights. I'm like, man, this is only possible in the likes of a Battlefield where there's just such chaos. It just captures that feeling of being in a full-on like battle zone, whatever. It's interesting.
It's a pity that you can't choose just Rush, right? Because like you have to choose a playlist that mixes all of them.
No, you can filter. I did see last night you can specify like I just want to play Rush on this map, for example, one of the 4 maps. Okay. Whether you find a game or not, I guess you have to see it. But I think this beta, the player numbers have been huge. 250,000 on Steam alone.
Oh, Steam hit 500,000.
Oh, is it 500,000? Okay.
Yeah.
It
was crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the biggest betas of all time. Even it surpassed like Monster Hunter Wilds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or it's like on the same level, something like that. It's you haven't seen sort of excitement for Battlefield as a franchise like this since probably 3. I think
a lot of people are going like, oh. Yeah, this feels like the Battlefield I've missed. That said, I've seen criticisms online where I'm like, I don't quite agree. So I love the combats with the vehicles and stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love the big open maps, but I also do enjoy the smaller scale stuff. So one of the new maps they've got, I think it's not called New York, but it's set in New York. It's like a 24 player map, so it's 12v12, which is smaller for Battlefield. no vehicles. So it's just weapons only. And people are like, oh, why are they doing this? I don't want to play Call of Duty. I just want to play Battlefield. I'm like, it's still Battlefield. It's a different game mode. Like, and I'm not opposed to it. Sometimes I do just want to have just weapon combat without getting shot by a tank or a helicopter or whatever. So it's just like weird criticism, and I think it comes down to purists. If you've been sleeping on a rock, there's Team Call of Duty and Team Battlefield, and those fan bases are always like, oh, like Call of Duty's it's an arcade shooter, like Battlefield's a real game because whatever, and then Call of Duty people have their own criticisms, and it's like, they're just different games, man. Like, they're still shooters, but they both have their own strengths and pros and cons, whatever. I don't know. It's the criticisms I've seen of the beta, I'm like, I don't quite agree. I'll see with the full game. Let's talk about when the full game releases, and then we can see if there are too many small maps like Call of Duty. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen that going around as well. And again, it's just a beta, so I guess they're trying to get data on all their different types of maps, because like they just put big maps in the beta. They don't really know how to balance the smaller ones. So yeah. I get that, but it doesn't feel like, at least even in the beta alone, like you are without options if you really just like the larger scale stuff. Like there's lots of that. So yeah, I also don't really understand where that comes from. But so far I've had a good time on the much larger maps, and that's the sort of game mode that I never used to really vibe with. And I'm still terrible at it. Like, I'm in the bottom half of the table most of the time, and I'm getting shot, in areas where I should be like looking around blind spots and not really taking risks on, big roads, trying to run across them, stuff like that. But I'm having a good time playing it. I don't feel frustrated, and I'm enjoying the thing of like learning Battlefield's language again. And I think in Battlefield 5 and 1, which I played, I just didn't have the patience for that, just because I wasn't having a good time with the other things around it. It didn't feel as good. It didn't feel as captivating. So just like Battlefield 3, which is the one that I really got into here in terms of multiplayer, I think the same is going to happen for 6, and I'm excited for the launch in October, which isn't that far away.
No, super close. Yeah, it's an interesting one, because if you're unfamiliar with Battlefield, it's kind of, sorry for the comparison, I mean, it's kind of not Call of Duty in the sense that Call of Duty is very good at, you just want to get thrown in, you just run and gun. You run around smaller maps, and you like deathmatch. You die, you respawn, whatever. Battlefield, it should not really be played that way. It should be treated like, if I was actually in a war, would I run across an open road? Like, probably not. Like, I would hug cover, I'd be more tactical. And I think if you can slow down and play it like that, you take the time to learn the maps and you take it a lot slower. It's unreal the sort of satisfaction you can have in this game. Particularly, like, a good example is sniping. What's really cool about, I suppose all modern games have this now, but Battlefield I've always known as, when you're doing, like, if you're sniping, for example, the maps are huge. So if you want to shoot somebody on the other side of the map, you have to account for bullet drop, depending on how far they are. And there's just nothing like nailing a headshot from like 400 plus meters away, just because you've taken the time, you've learned how the weapons feel, you've taken, terrain into account. It is just a game about, don't get me wrong, it's frantic, but it benefits you and your team to like slow down and just think about like, what are you actually going to do, as opposed to, and I don't mean it in a negative way. Call of Duty is like, you can just jump in and like go in and do whatever, just run and gun. Battlefield, I think that's where the fan bases are split apart and argue. It's like they're both playing the games wrong, I guess.
Yeah. Can see you've got you're locked in on this gameplay.
This was at like 1 a.m. yesterday, going, oh shit, I didn't record anything for the podcast. It's like, I'll just have a quick game, and I was like, oh my god, it's too much fun.
It must have been one of your better ones for the night, because my goodness, you are making some great shots here.
I'm just good
placements, and it's like cool watching footage like this, because you also then learn like, oh, okay, this is the sort of approach I should be taking to firefights, because you're finding people like out in the open. You're finding people like me, essentially taking risks that they shouldn't be taking and picking them off pretty easily. So. And
the thing is, like, when the beta started, I very much wasn't doing this. I mean, I barely crouched. Whereas now, no, like, oh yeah, like I should go pro, and if I'm capturing a point, hard around the corner, don't like just. I should just pause and think about it. And
do you know if they've adjusted the time to kill? Because I feel like the first beta weekend it was very low. Like I was dropping very quickly, and it feels slightly different now. But it might be placebo. I'm not too sure.
I don't know. It's been interesting for me because most of my game time has been with friends in South Africa. So I've been playing with a slightly higher ping because it prioritizes obviously the party. And it's still been like obviously there's a little bit of a delay, but I've still had a great time. Whereas, what I'm getting at, that is most of my playtime. Whereas this footage was just me by myself on a UK server, so it's difficult to tell because I was like I could feel there wasn't that delay, because I had a low ping. But I'm like, I can't tell if that was time to kill or delay that I was feeling.
I see. Yeah, I see.
That makes sense. I did see that as well. People going like the time skill's way too low, and maybe it was again difficult for me to say because with that, even with that slightly higher ping, there were times where it was like I was around the corner. How did I die? It's because there's a delay. Obviously, I died before I got around the corner. Yeah, I guess we'll see this weekend. I'm going to play a lot more. That's my plan after this podcast. I'm going to just play a bunch more.
Sounds like a great time to spend your day.